everyone. Thank you for joining me. As promised, I'm showing you my tips and tricks for kind of what I've come up with on my own production line of making them. And everyone has personal preferences, and I'm sure there's other videos out there like this, but it's kind of what I figured out. So this method is good for either twill tape ties, which these ones are 3/8 of an inch. You need a serger for that method. The elastics, you need a serger also for this method. And then if you have any jersey or t-shirts that you're making the straps with, those as well, sorry, ties. I cut these at 1 inch wide by, I believe, 30 inches long. So first of all, I went ahead and took all my 14-inch by 8.5-inch pieces of fabric that I cut out prior to this. And then what I do is on the stack, I take them and fold them and make another big pile of them folded, wrong sides together, short sides together. So I'm placing them all in a pile, and then when they're all placed, I press my heavy duty steam iron down and get this crease at the bottom there, and I flip it over and do the same thing. After that, I go through them individually and then I eyeball it, put a 1/4 inch crease in the top, and then what I do is I flip it over and then all I do is take that piece and press it over top of that edge. So you don't have to do any measuring, and it's going to even up at the end. You don't have to do this step. If you're good at eyeballing and folding while you sew, go ahead. I just feel more comfortable doing it this way, and it really doesn't add on that much time in the end. So after that, I take it to my machine and I put my twist tie in the first fold. I center it and I just do a zigzag or straight stitch before and after where the twist tie is. Don't forget to forward and backward stitch to lock it in. After that, I'm folding it and stitching down the sides and leaving a gap in the center to insert a filter. This method is really great because I haven't used any other tools other than my machine. I'm going to clip all my threads at the very end as well. So the next part is going to be for if you want to use a serger. I'm pleating them at the top and the bottom, and I'm folding them in on each other. That might not make sense. So I'm going to try and show you as best as possible. So if you fold it in half, you can pinch it kind of like a 1/4 or halfway up, and then fold it like that. So it's easier to do it on a table than midair. So I'm ending up with this. I know it's hard to see. So there's your top, your bottom, and this is the front. And on the back, these are meeting up in the center. And all I did was fold and press. It's easier to do on a hard surface. Then I go ahead and put that through my serger. If you're using elastics, what you want to do is put the elastics in wherever your spaces are. It might not be as close together as mine. You might have a bit more fabric coming out the edges, but I kind of either put it up against that fold or just under that fold. It's going to be less bulk for you if you put it beside it. And as you serge, you're going to catch that in the serger. If you're not using elastic, just go ahead and serge right across. The good thing about this is you can do them one after another. Keep going with all your pile on one side, then you flip it to the other side. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. All right, so now we have, these are all in a line. Go ahead and snip them, and you're gonna want to actually leave a little bit of a gap in between them so you have this little tail of threads coming out of each end. So once your elastic is in there, this is the front, okay? I'm going to fold that tail, fold it in on both sides, and then you're going to fold it down to the inside. And then you're gonna do some top stitching, 2 lines over that on both sides, and then you're complete. Just snip your threads and you're done. So then when it comes up, it's like that. Outside, inside. I'll show you at the machine as well. And then if you're going to use twill tape or another item that's only one-sided, you're gonna go ahead and find the center, fold in those tails. Sorry, I have dark stuff happening. Fold the tails in. Tummy's growling. And then line it up with the edge, and you're just gonna top stitch 2 rows down that. I just top stitch, I just go in a little square kind of thing around, rectangle, no. Good job. I'm just going a little rectangle around the edge there, and you do that on both sides. And there you have your ties that are even, like this one, and everything's hunky-dory. All right, so if you don't have a serger and you want to do this method, if you have bias tape or jersey ties or t-shirt yarn, those will all work. So you can go ahead and do your folds, and if you want to baste it, you can do that as well. Or if you want to just attach that right away and fold it over, you can do that as well. All right, so once you have all your ties or elastics and your top stitching complete, then you're done. Like I said, I do all of this in steps. So step one, I'm only at the iron doing all my creases, and that maybe takes 5-10 minutes max, depending how many you're doing. Then I go over to the sewing machine and I'm doing my twist tie and closing the top up, leaving that gap. That's completely optional, but it's really not taking any more time to leave that gap there. So people have the option to add in the filter if they want. Then you go right to your serger and do everything one after another in lines, switch sides, super fast. Go back to your machine and sew on your ties or do your top stitching for your elastics. And then you're clipping all your threads at the end. I can do about 30 in a couple hours, and that's me probably watching TV, going upstairs, coming back downstairs, petting the dog, doing a million things in between as well. So if you really get a good groove going, you can get a lot done in a much shorter time than the other way that I was doing anyways. I also wanted to share why I like this method better than the pleated version. So by folding in the pleats this way on both ends, you not only save time, but you are making the mask fit better. So when you pull it out, it's cupping the face. It's making this little cup shape like our faces make. And especially with the ties, when you tie the bottom ones, it just makes this bottom part fit nice and snug underneath of the wearer's chin, so there's no extra gaps and things can get in from that way. Even with the elastics, it still works and it still makes a really nice fit where it's snug up top, it's snug underneath, not too tight though, and you can still move your mouth and breathe in between. So that's also why I like doing it this way as well. So if this helps, that's great. If you have any other tips or tricks or anything like that, or need clarification on any of the steps I did because it made no sense because I was winging it, then please just ask. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you for your help, everyone. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.